Hello, America, and welcome back to another episode of the Baseball Talk Radio Show. I am Gary Mack, and I'm joined, as always, on these Sunday mornings. We're a little late than usual this week. I was a little bit lazy, and Rich was busy running some errands. But joining me, as always, is Mr. Rich Baxter in a secret location. Rich, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you very much, Gary. Nice to be with you. And yeah, I'm at the local Books a Million down here at the coffee shop, streaming out of here for the first time. So hopefully the connection will hold up. But we have some spring training baseball. We have some World Baseball Classic to talk about today.
Yeah, they're going to be starting pretty soon with that. So the camps are getting filled with minor leaguers, I guess, the major league camps, as a number of players leave to go start training for that and get ready. I think the games start Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. But Rich, we've already seen some big injuries in the spring training camp. I don't know if you saw this, but Gavin Lux, who was supposed to be the shortstop for the Dodgers, tore his ACL and LCL, and he is effectively out for the season. Now, the Dodgers, as you remember, they passed the last 2 years. They had the two all-star caliber shortstops, Corey Seager and Trey Turner. They let both of them walk. The idea that Gavin Lux, who had a decent year last year at second base, would be, would move over to his natural position at shortstop. And oddly enough, it was like the first game, I think, he was running the bases, and he sustained an injury against the Padres. He was coming around second base, trying to avoid a throw, and ducked his head for a split second, and he heard a large pop, and his right knee buckled, and that was it. He's gone for the season. And he says his cleat got caught up in the dirt, and when he straightened his leg out, his knee gave out. But boy, that's a bad injury for the Dodgers. And of course, Jacob DeGrom, who the Texas Rangers has signed, has not pitched in a game yet. He's only pitched in side sessions. His first side session resulted in left side soreness. Texas, spent a lot of money on him, and it's just some big names are down, and including your own Bryce Harper, who didn't get hurt in spring training, but coming into the spring training with an injury after some surgery that he had last year in injury. So that injury bug is out there again, Rich.
Yeah, it seems like it's creeping back into the game. And as you said, even one of the Phillies' top prospect pitchers, Andrew Painter, has had some elbow soreness, and that's real bad news because he was expected to make the team. Still not sure if he's going to miss any part of the season, but that was just reported a couple days ago out of Philadelphia. So Andrew Painter, one of the top prospects, also with a little elbow soreness, they say. And Gary, getting back to the World Baseball Classic for just a second. Yeah, you're right. It starts Tuesday, March 7th, goes right through the 21st. The series is being televised on Fox Network, Fox Sports 1, Fox Sports 2, and Fox Network, the main network, and Tubi, if you have Roku TV, TUBI. That's a streaming service as well. And of course, the championship is in Miami on Tuesday, March 21st at 7 p.m. Eastern. So looking forward to that. And let's talk a little bit about some matchups in that, if you want. I did some research this morning, and they have some interesting teammates there going up against one another. Mike Trout, of course, playing for the USA, and Shohei Ohtani, his stablemate, so to speak, going for Japan. So they're going to face off against one another in this series. It's pretty interesting the way they're splitting these teams up by country, even though, these Major League Baseball players play against, one another and then on the same team sometimes.
Right, right, right. Well, yeah, and that'll be interesting to see. That'll be quite a matchup, a marquee matchup, as they say. And if they play each other, I don't, are they scheduled to play each other? I don't even know what the USA schedule is, or if they're in the same grouping. But we'll have to see on that. And but yeah, a lot of I know there's 20 Mets that have gone that were selected to play on various different teams. I think Francisco Lindor is playing on the Puerto Rican team, and there's a young minor leaguer playing on the Dominican team, and of course Pete Alonso and Jeff McNeil playing on the USA team along with some others. So it's going to be an interesting matchup, and let's just help. I mean, oh boy, let's just hope that nobody gets hurt. That's the main thing, because our focus really is on our teams for the season, and while you're interested in
Help.
this, you just hope nobody gets hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, it's for sure. And as you said, these teams are going to be split up geographically. So the USA is going to play teams like Mexico, Colombia, Canada, Great Britain, Puerto Rico, Venezuela, Dominican Republic, Israel, and Nicaragua. And then on the other side of the world, you're going to have Japan, Korea, Australia, China, Czech Republic, Italy, Cuba, the Netherlands, Chinese Taipei, and Panama, all in those two pools. So the USA and Japan wouldn't be getting together until after the first round, so to speak. But, I doubt too many people will be up at 5 a.m. to watch some of those games that are going overseas. I think they're starting at 5 a.m., 6 a.m. Eastern time. So they'll be a little tough to watch, but I'm looking forward to this a little bit. Previous years, I hadn't paid much attention to this, but this year, for some reason, I'm more interested in it.
Yeah, I think because just it's I think we're hankering for some baseball, and that's probably why we're a tad more interested in it.
Yeah, it's been a long winter, even though it hasn't been a bad winter where we're from, so to speak. Knock on wood. There's some wood over here, but I just put up on the screen the World Baseball Classic schedule getting underway on Tuesday, March 7th. Cuba taking on the Netherlands, starting at 11 p.m. Eastern. And then the next day, we have a couple more of the games from overseas. And it looks like games that we'll be able to watch are a little further into the future, but they'll be getting underway there on March 7th from overseas.
Yeah, and the USA does not play, it looks like, until next Saturday, the 11th. So and they will play at 9 p.m. on Fox. So if you want to catch that game, I think that's it looks like it's their first game. And Tubi, I believe, is free, right? So you'll be getting the games on Tubi.
I believe it's free, although I've never been on it. I do have a Roku, but I've never been on Tubi. So we'll have to check that out. Along the same lines, Gary, speaking about free, MLB.TV and T-Mobile. I've been doing some research on that. I know we're both longtime T-Mobile guys, and we were getting MLB.TV for free the past couple of years, but I think that's coming to an end. this year.
Well, I might be
possibly.
coming to the end with T-Mobile. So,
Yeah, that's
it
what
could
people
be a
are saying.
virtual, it could be a mutual thing, but
Yep. Well, anyway, I happened to get a Sunday plan here with the Phillies this year. And lo and behold, I got an email last week saying that with the plan is a free subscription to MLB.TV. So I'll have that
so you
going
still
into
have
this
it.
year. I'll be covered. And of course, here at the bookstore, you can grab books just like this. This is why I stopped in.
There
The
you go. And what is that one? That is the Athlon?
Lindy Sports baseball
Lindy
preview here.
Sports.
Yeah. And then we also grabbed the baseball digest. Look at the multi-million-dollar Manny Machado there.
Yeah, yeah, and that's odd because usually they have they do well they used to do years ago the old Street and Smiths, for those that remember that. They used to
Yeah.
do regional covers, and they would have guys from your local teams on the cover, and I guess that was quite expensive because they'd have to have, like, New York, they'd have somebody from the Mets or Yankees. In your area to be somebody from the Phillies and so on. And yeah, that one has it.
Yeah, this looks like the
But Baseball
Pennsylvania
Digest,
edition here.
Baseball
Pittsburgh
Digest
and
going
the
exactly.
Phillies.
But Baseball Digest just going national. I guess the game is going so national now. It's still regional, but not quite as regional as it used to be, and it's going to probably go more national, Rich, with the collapse of these regional sports networks. As we talked a little bit about it last week, and but now there's more news out that Bally's is going to go under with it, and because they're owned by so many companies now. Warner Brothers, I think, owns something, and Discovery owns something, and they're all going out now. They're getting out of the baseball business. They're bankrupt. They're not making any money because the fees that they paid, and the commissioner doesn't seem too upset about it. And I think because MLB's probably been planning this for quite some time to get their hands on all of the action and control everything.
Yeah, it seems like with the MLB.TV, the subscription's up to $149.99 for this year. It includes the spring training games, and also, I don't know if you know this one, Gary. The minor league schedule is available through MLB.TV for free. This year, you're going to get all of the minor league games with your MLB.TV subscription. No separate one required this year.
Oh, so I wonder though, if you don't get the MLB, if you can still get the MILB separate. That'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I believe you still can, although I didn't research that. But MLB.TV will get you 7,000 games of minor leagues. So for the $149.99, you're getting all the out of market games as well as spring training. I think they said there's 250 games, MLB big inning and live look-ins all year. So it's going to be worth it, I think.
Yeah, it'll be worth it, definitely. But boy, I'll tell you, it's tough to watch. I had the minor league package, as you know. I've had the minor league package for a couple of years. I buy, and it's they're playing at the same time. So how do you play? I'm on my computer, and I've got 3 screens open up, and I'm going from game to game. But it's hard to follow a prospect when, first off, they're doing a better job of it. I have to say, the broadcasting or the production values of the minor league games have gotten 100% better the last couple of years. But if you're watching, like, if I'm watching the Brooklyn Cyclones against the Hudson Valley Renegades, it's I'm getting the Hudson Valley feed then, and they don't talk a lot about, sometimes they get talking about something and they forget that there's a batter up and a game going on, so you don't know
What's
who you don't
who's a
know
bat?
who's yeah. So I find myself watching the game, get out my phone with the roster,
Hmm.
and then I got to go see what number, who the guy is, and until you get into the season and you realize who and then they call up a guy and they change the number, and if you don't see that, you think it's that guy up at bat, and it's not. So it gets a little confusing there. The broadcasting needs to be worked on a tad, uh, but it is the minor league. It is high A ball, and so I guess that they're learning as well as everybody else is. But that's the only thing. The production values have gone up. Like I said, they have gone up 100 times. I mean, I remember watching the Mets when they were in Vegas, and the first year that they started doing it out there, and they had one camera be to the right of home plate. Plays in right field you couldn't see, unless somebody moved the camera, which wasn't too often. You really didn't know what the heck was going on. Sometimes they pick up the radio broadcast, and so that's why there's a lot of talking, I guess, because they keep talking, and the television's different. Uh, now it's been a lot better. It's gotten 100 times better, and 2 or 3 cameras and HD and all of that. So it's a good package to get, but it's a lot to watch. It really is difficult, especially if they're playing at the same time. I mean, technically, you could have 4 games on at one time. You could have the Mets playing, in my case, or the Phillies. You could have their AAA playing at the same time, the AA, the high A, and in some instances, the low A also may have the television. So you can have 4 or 5 games going on at once, and you can get a little nutty.
Yeah. They have multiple streams at the same time, and going to be interesting this year with the free MILB subscription. I know I usually get the MLB.TV subscription, so I'm looking forward to that. If you want to check our show out on YouTube, for anybody that don't know, we have a YouTube page over at youtube.com/baseball talk radio show. And also we stream these broadcasts live as we do them usually on facebook.com/baseball talk radio show. So there's where you can find our video streams. And of course, on audio, we're at Apple Music, we're at Google Podcast, and we're all over the internet. So check us out. Also, baseballtalkradio.com. It's the home for great baseball talk shows. We have about 35 on there right now. Going to expand it, including a 24/7 live stream. So check it out over at baseballtalkradio.com. And Gary, we only have about 3.5 weeks to opening day. We're looking at March 30th for opening day. I'm getting more excited as time goes on.
Yeah, it's coming fast, and I think it'll be even faster once we start watching the WBC, because we realize that the real thing, as we like to say, the professionals, even though they're playing the WBC, I know, but our teams, let's put it that way, then are just around the corner, so that'll be great. And Rich, you sent me a note here that you got. Do you want to introduce it, or do you want me to just continue with it?
I will set it up for you. We got a
Okay.
note from our our longtime good friend and sometime co-host here on the show. If you've tuned in the last couple of years, Mr. Joe Q, the pride of Brooklyn. He happens to be with me here at the live stream this afternoon from Books A Million outside of Atlantic City, New Jersey. And he has a question for us. Take it away, Gary.
Okay. His question is he wants to know why the Wilpons are trying to block Keith Hernandez from a new contract with SNY. And if it's over, why did this happen? Well, I from what I've heard, they weren't trying to block him. They were negotiating a new contract. And if anything, you want to consider it blocking, but let's not forget the Wilpons were cheap. So they've always
Wilpons
been
were cheap.
And
Yeah.
but he has signed a new 3-year contract. So the announcing team of Gary Cohen, Keith Hernandez, and Ron Darling will be together this year, and it is a record-breaking year. I believe it puts them 18th or 19th year, and it puts them ahead of the original trio of the Mets announcers of Ralph Kiner, Bob Murphy, and Lindsey Nelson. So they were together for 17 or 18 years, and now Gary Cohen and Keith Hernandez and Ron Darling will surpass that record. And so that's all I can tell you. The Wilpons still own SNY. It was not in the deal for the Mets. Steve Cohen had no interest in it. I don't know why that was not included in the Mets deal. I certainly would have, but they pulled it out of the deal. So the Wilpons still have a hand in Mets baseball. And at first I thought that Cohen might look into starting his own network, but now I'm thinking with the way Major League Baseball is moving in on all of this, that's not going to happen. But that's the best I can tell you, Joe.
All right. Well, that's a great question, and I'm sure Joe's going to appreciate that answer when he gets to listen to this. But Gary, one little sad note that just came upon the wire here today. The longtime announcer for the Tampa Bay Rays, Dave Wills on radio, passed away today, actually, at the age of 58. Announcer for the past 18 years for the Rays. Called the World Series in 2008, 2020 with them. And it just came over the wire a few minutes ago here as we're doing the podcast. He was an outstanding broadcaster and a great person, says Rays principal owner Stuart Sternberg.
Oh, what a shame. Does it say what the cause of death was?
Nope. It just came upon the wire just minutes ago. So just the Rays announced the passing of Dave Wills, and always a sad time when your announcer passes away. I remember when Harry Kalas passed away with the Phillies. Very sad, of course, and going to be a tough year for the Rays without Dave Wills.
Yeah, and what a shame, such a young man, and to lose his life like that. But our condolences go out to his family, and our prayers as well.
That's for sure. Well, it's getting a little more busy here in the cafe here, so my Wi-Fi is getting a little stretched. So, any final words for this podcast, Gary? As we're doing it live here.
I'm just looking forward to the season starting, and hopefully I'll encourage everybody to go listen to Rich's podcast, Phillies Talk. He put one out, I think last week it was, Rich. And yes. I just put out my 500th episode of Mets Musings, so I hope everybody will go to metsmusings.com and check that out, or watch it on YouTube. youtube.com/@MetsMusings, or go or listen to the audio version of it wherever you get your audio podcast. Like Rich was saying before, like this show, I'm all over the place with that show as well. So I just want to get that little plug in for episode number 500. And thank you all so much. And Rich, I
Awesome,
guess that
Gary.
does it.
I meant to congratulate you on that 500th episode. And that's quite a milestone. Many years of podcasting. I don't even know how many shows we have on this. We probably have 500 shows. Don't even know. We started counting them, and then we stopped, and then we recounted them. But
I think we've done about with the old MLB This Week show too. I think we did about 350.
Yeah. So between us, we have.
Between us,
probably
forget it.
1,000 podcasts.
Yeah, way over. Yeah.
Not bad. So hope everybody enjoyed this edition of the Baseball Talk Radio Show. We'll talk to you next week. Gary, you have a great week. Talk to you then.
Same to you, Rich, and I'll see you all next week.